What's up, everyone? Aaron Schatz here, Editor-in-Chief of ASE Publishing, and today we've got the review of the D-Link DIR-510L portable Wi-Fi router with storage and charging capabilities. This is review ID 54714. You can check out this and all our reviews by going to www.aselabs.com. However, right down in this corner right here, subscribe button. It's bright red, or an annotation right here. You hit that, you'll be informed of all the content we post. It's all video reviews right now. By the way, if you don't have the time to watch these long-form reviews, you can check out the 1-minute review. I'll have a card somewhere. I don't really know which corner it is. It's going to be this corner or this corner. It'll be a card that pops up, says 1-minute review of this. You hit that, 1 minute, you'll be informed of this. And you can come back and watch this main review to get all the information that you're going to need, because those 1-minute reviews can't contain the amount of information that we put out in our long-form reviews. This is the router. Let's get into this review. I'm going to save you the trouble of having to go back and watch the unboxing, because there's really nothing to this at all. You get the DIR-510L, the router itself, and basically a micro USB AC adapter. Now you don't have to watch the unboxing. This router is a AC 750, which means it uses AC 802.11.AC for the actual standard that it uses, but it goes all the way back to B if you want to. It uses A, B, G, N, and AC. Let's see, A, B, G, N, and AC. Yeah, all that stuff. And if you take a look at the actual router, by the way, speaking about the fact that this has 750 megabits of throughput, I mean, this is a portable router for like when you're on like vacation or something, you're in a hotel room, you can plug this in and have a hotspot and blah blah blah. I don't know when you would actually use this much speed. I mean, granted, it's a storage router too, so yeah, you can transfer like storage to and from devices and stuff, and you're going to get some good speed out of this. But otherwise, if you're just browsing the internet, you don't need all this speed. I mean, that's just me. I think this is way overkill, but hey, you can get it if you need it, and if you got tons of storage on the go, that's where you're going to need it. So if you have a lot of storage, that's when this speed is needed. But if you don't, and you're just viewing video files, viewing other media and stuff, you're not going to notice the speed increase. Let's take a look at all around the DIR-510L. So let's start right in the front right here, which has nothing on it except some logos and stuff. So we'll go on to the side. There's a single reset button here. If you forget your passwords and everything, you can reset it there. On this side right here, you have the switch for turning it off. Switch the right way here. Turning it off, turning it on, and putting it into charging mode. Now, there's two. And also this WPS button never works for me. I've never had WPS work, and also it's very insecure, so I never use WPS anyway. Plus, it never works. I've never had a device that works on WPS ever. Any router I've had, I don't know why, it just never works. Doesn't matter. You can always manually set that stuff up. So if you come over to this side, you have two USB ports. One is labeled 1 amp, one is labeled half an amp. Basically, you can actually charge on both ports right here. However, most devices, even phones these days, are going to use the 1 amp. Now, most devices can accept much higher throughputs. So 1 amp is going to charge your devices relatively slowly in this day and age. The 0.5 amp, you can plug in like a USB flash drive or something for sharing and stuff, for the storage part of this. So if you come down to this side, oh yeah, there's two LEDs for status indication here as well. Coming on to the other side right here, you have an Ethernet port. So if you're on vacation, you can plug the hotel's Ethernet cord right into here, and then this will turn into a hotspot. And the micro USB connection for power. The 510L also comes with an internal battery, 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, it's not as big as some other things that we tested in the past, like the Mobile Light Wireless G3. However, this allows you to actually run this and charge devices pretty much on the go. So for instance, if you have this all charged up and you want to create a hotspot, you can do this without having to worry about power. And that's good, because when you're on the go, sometimes you just need to plug in and just do it. The first mode I'm going to show you is charging mode. Charging mode basically allows the device to just bypass all the routing functionality and just turn on the battery directly to actually charge up devices or power them. So all you got to do, throw it into charger. Right here on the switch, throw it to charger. You'll see an LED right here light up green, a circle, and there's one right here that's green as well. Now, this 0.5 amp port doesn't really charge anything. It's probably too little juice. The 1 amp does just fine. So if I plug this thing right into here, and that's actually what the 1 amp port is used for, is for charging, so there you go. While it's in the actual routing mode, the 0.5 amp port actually works, so there's that. So if I plug this bad boy into here, you can see that my Nexus 5X is charging, and it does not say charging slowly, which means it's getting the actual full 1 amp. Now, the Nexus 5X can go up to 3 amp, I believe. However, if it was charging slowly, it would show you something different. It would say charging slowly. So at least it's getting above that half a amp kind of thing. So it's getting the full, or it's getting over 500 milliamps, I should say. So that's good. So theoretically, this will get a full charge because this battery is less than the 4,000 milliamp hours that this thing provides. And that's not theoretically, it's actually. I don't know why I said theoretically. The next mode is what this actually is targeting, is the routing and storage mode. So if you just turn this thing on right here, you'll see that this light turns on, the actual power light turns on, and then there's another LED that'll actually turn on too to let you know the status. I have no idea if you can see it. Let's zoom in, see it right here on the front. Can you see it? You see it? Yep. You see that LED right here, this one right here? That's to let you know that it's turning on and still booting up. It's also on the side right here. There you go. When that turns green, the thing is fully booted and ready to go. And I'm going to wait until it turns green to show you how long it takes. So now, if you're in a hotel room and stuff, you're going to want to turn this on. And if you're in a hotel room, you can easily just plug this in at the same time right here and plug this into power, and you're good to go. Also, if you're in a hotel that has Ethernet, you can easily just plug in the Ethernet cord right here, and it'll actually work as a Wi-Fi hotspot. Now, I have no power plugged in, and it's working just fine. You can see it's all booted up, ready to go. I'm going to show you this. I have some files on here and stuff, so just to show you how this works. So this is on, now it's powered, and this could still charge devices up at the same time that it's in the router mode. So you can see that now, here we go. Now my device is charging slowly. So it's only providing probably half the amount of power that it's going to be needed. But it's still charging, so at least you get that. If you're actually going to use this on battery power, you're probably going to get about 4 hours of use. Now it's going to be less if you're actually using the storage capabilities and if you're charging devices at the same time, obviously. So in real-world use, I would say you probably get around 2 to 3 hours of real-world use of actually like transferring some files and stuff and using this as a router. Now, the second thing that you got to be concerned about is if you're using this to actually bridge a Wi-Fi connection, meaning you're like using Wi-Fi as the internet service and then rebroadcasting Wi-Fi to another device, it's probably going to be a little bit less than even that. So if you're plugging into Ethernet, it'll probably be a little bit more power available because obviously you don't have to have wireless twice, but you're still going to get enough power to do stuff on the go. Remember, you can also plug this in anytime. Just plug this in and it'll act like a regular router that's been plugged in and stuff. Now, the interesting part is I'm going to show you this right after this, but the interface in this is actually very unique to this because it's a portable type of router. It's not like D-Link's traditional interfaces that you've seen on their cameras when you log into the web portals on their cameras and their routers and stuff. It's like very different. And I think we're going to show you, actually no. What we're going to do first is we're going to show you the actual software that D-Link packages for phones. So let's do that right now. Now I'm going to actually show you the Mydlink SharePoint application, or SharePort application, I should say. Once you open this up, by the way, this application looks like some type of either port from iOS or something, but it's a really old-looking application, which is unfortunate because it's kind of clunky and stuff. So I will say that right now. It really needs to be updated. So if I swipe over, look at that. It's just, I'm trying to swipe once. It's just, okay. Let's go into pictures to show you how this works. You can see all the stuff that's loaded on here, like for instance, whatever this thing is. It opens up in an internal viewer. That's anti-chamber. And if we go over to music, the music does not detect OGG files, but it detects MP3. So there you go. There's OGG files on here too. Doesn't detect them. But I'm going to show you a way to actually get to those files in a second. So if you actually play this, right down here is an internal player where it plays it. So that's nice. It's sort of like the Kingston Mobilite Wireless G3. However, the Mobilite G3 is really built for this type of use case where it's merely just extending storage for a phone. This one, the router is first, then the storage. The other one is storage first. If you go into videos, whoops, see that? That's the application. Go into videos. Nothing is there. That's not true though. I have videos on the device. So let's go down to folders, which will actually show you directly what's on the actual devices. So if I click this USB port right here, you can see all the stuff that I actually have on the device. And these are OGG files, so if I hit this, it'll actually ask me what to open it with. I can open it and do whatever. Now, for instance, a video file that it knows is video, like MKV, it'll actually play in its internal player, which, alright, I don't understand why it wouldn't just work. I don't know if this is actually the internal player. Let me see. Oh no, it's not. It's actually pumping it out, so there you go. However, it streams just fine. See? That's some Free Space 2 action, which is awesome. You can check out the Let's Play on my actual personal channel. Let's get out of here. So remember, this is actually streaming from this to this over HTTP. This actually makes an HTTP server to actually host all the files. And I'm going to show you that on the actual computer. So to actually control all this stuff, so that's the storage functionality of this. And that's all well and good. It gets the job done. It's not great. I'm not going to lie. It's not great. It's not the best thing. If you wanted expandable storage for your phones, there are better products, and I've reviewed them. So you should check them out on the channel. However, what this thing excels at is the routing and the sharing functionality of the actual connection and stuff. So to actually do that, I'm going to reset the camera, and I'll show you in a second. Once you're actually connected to the Wi-Fi network that this creates, and by the way, I'm showing the screen on one of these sides. You could probably see it in this video right now. All you got to do is just type in dlinkrouter.local for the web address. And remember, you're probably going to have to put http:// in front of it, because if you don't do that in these type of mobile browsers, it's going to think you're trying to search on Google or something. So remember, it's a full web address. dlinkrouter.local. You'll be given to a page that looks like this. And I probably should have blanked out the admin password, but if you are setting this up the first time, all you got to do is hit login, and it'll just work. Of course, I set a password up, so I'm going to type this in, and I'm going to show you something. Now, I'm going to type my password in correctly, and I'm hiding this right now. So now I'm going to unhide it for you. So I got the password in there correctly. This is a temporary password that I put in, by the way. If I just click enter on the keyboard, it says wrong password. This is the weird part about this software. So now I'm going to hide this for you again. Give me 1 second while I type this in. Hold on 1 sec. Just made a mistake. So now, again, same password. If this is happening to you, you actually have to get rid of the keyboard and hit login. Now it works. So there's a caveat for that. You actually have to click the button on the web page for logging in. Otherwise, it has no idea that you actually entered a password. So let's go into the settings a little bit. So firmware version. This is the latest firmware that I have. It's from 2015, August. So if you have a device that has older firmware, make sure you connect it to the internet and update it. By the way, the interface that this gives you for the phone is actually really nice, and it allows you to control everything that you really need to do on, like, easy enough. If you have this on the computer, the interface is actually changed, and I'm going to show you that right after this. In fact, let's just go into this really quickly, and I'll show you the computer interface because it's larger. So now, there's some interesting stuff in here. You can actually connect this to the Mydlink software. I don't know why you would do this, but if you connect it to the Mydlink software, you can control it. You can get all the sharing stuff off of here, but this is a portable router. It's not like it's in your home and you need to share stuff off of that. So I don't know why you would do that, but it's there if you need to do that. you can actually create guest zones in here. And I'll go more into that on the actual computer interface. So if you go into the internet, it's going to say choose a network, right? Because it says Hotspot network disconnected. Now you can see all the networks in here. Again, I'm going to go more into this on the computer because the computer interface is a slightly different interface than this. So we'll go into that too. But again, you could just connect this to the Ethernet and it'll actually share it out too. If you go into Wi-Fi, this is where you can set up all the passwords, and as you can see, I didn't set up anything. You can set up the Wi-Fi networks and yada yada yada. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears and head on the computer. We've switched gears. We are now looking at the interface of the 510L on a regular computer. This is the benefit of using a router first. It can be used with a regular computer. So I got this in Chrome right now. It works in Firefox as well, on Linux, by the way. I've also taken the liberty of resetting the thing. So theoretically there should be no admin password. And let's see. There you go. Now, for now, I've not connected it to any of the internet and stuff, but I'm going to show you how the initial setup actually works. So if I actually plug this in right now, this is off camera, but if I plug this into the Ethernet right now, it will actually, if I refresh the page, see that the internet is now working fine. So if you have Ethernet connection, plug it in, good to go, really don't need to set up. If you have something a little more complicated, let's go into it and see what's going on. So you can see right here that each of these things are clickable, and that's what I mean about this interface. It's simplistic, it works, gets the job done. It's vastly different than D-Link's other web portal management stuff. So let's see what this little icon is here telling me. Oh my god, my Wi-Fi connection is not secure. So let's secure the connection. You can see here, like on the mobile one, you can change the names of the access points of the ASE, like the 5 gigahertz one or the 2.4 gigahertz, and you can add a password. You also get advanced settings for each. And you can see that this is the difference between going on to a computer, because the computer site gives you a lot more options than the mobile one. However, the mobile one gets the job done just fine as well. So if you want to do that, you just type this in, type password in, whatever, right? There you go. So we're not going to do that though. This is what I want to show you first, internet profiles. So you can see here that there's two internet profiles, and both of these are set up for Ethernet. So if you can go into here, DHCP, let's see what we got in here. Pretty obvious stuff here, no need to worry about that. Static network, we can also edit that and put in all your stuff that you need for static network address. That works fine as well. You're not going to really do that. What I want to show you though is if you need to connect to other things. Now, for instance, if you have like a PBPoE connection, this can do that as well. If you have that wireless USB, like for a 3G, 4G modem that connects over USB, you can do that as well. See that right there? And the Wi-Fi hotspot client. This is the thing that allows you to basically piggyback on another wireless network. So if I hit scan, let it do its thing, you can see all the networks in the area, and there are quite a lot of them. If I want to connect to my network, I would just select it, hit select, and actually put in the password. It works, I've done it, but I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to put in the password. And you could select the actual stuff. You can also manually type it in, right? Whoops. First, and then blah, 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 and it'll connect. Once you save it, now it'll actually bridge the connection, but it's not a real bridge. It's still routing the connection. So it's merely using the actual Wi-Fi as the internet connection. So I already showed you Wi-Fi, just as a reminder. This is it. Now let's go into network, the internal network. So here's where you can actually set up what the IP address of the internal network looks like, and you can also set up the router's host name and such. And all this other cool stuff. But remember, this is a portable router, but it still gives you these slightly more advanced options. You can also set up the DHCP range and the lease time. So let's go into guest zone first. If you wanted to add a guest zone, which I don't know why you would, but you can. like this is a portable router, and usually you're going to use it personally. But if you, I guess, if you have guests, you know, and you're like, oh, here's my guest, the guest zone. So it's basically on a separate VLAN than the actual main stuff. So if you have like 3 devices on your personal stuff and they're all connected to each other, and it's like very important, and a guest comes in the room and they want to connect, this is where you would use that, and it sets it up as a separate VLAN, and they don't get access to your other devices on the network. So it can do that. However, as a portable device, I don't know why you would do that, but it's there if you need to. If you need to set up this to be accessed by the Mydlink software, this is where you do it. As soon as there it goes, see? You just type in your name and password, and it basically just connects this to the Mydlink software. Again, this is a portable router. I don't see the reason you would do this. However, it's there. Now, this is the thing I want to show you. SharePort. SharePort is a web-based sort of network attached storage management system. So here's where you can set up users, and we're not going to, well, we'll set up one right now. So you can see there's admin setup and guest, and we don't really need to set up everything right now. But basically, you just add a user and, you know, do whatever. Now, what this allows you to do is, you see how it makes 2 different links and stuff. So if you want to do it over HTTPS or HTTP, it doesn't matter. This is internal. So we could just say, let's go to this address right now, and I'll show you. So remember, like I said, this is a DLNA media server, which works fine, but since this is a portable thing, I don't know why you would have this as a DLNA media server. Yes, it works. I just don't see the reason, because you can access the files from the web page itself. So let's do that. If you click this address right here, you could see that it looks the same. If we put in the admin with no password, because that's what it was set up as, this looks similar to the actual mobile application. And like the mobile application, it has the same weird stuff. So if I hit music, you could see that it only shows the MP3s here. So if I click the MP3, nothing happens. No, I'm just kidding. It starts to play. I don't know if you could hear that. Let's see. There's an internal player that you can actually hear this. Let's see if it's playing. It is playing. Okay, just making sure. So let's go back. So again, it's an internal player, but again, you could just download this stuff on the computer and play it too. You can see all the pictures in here as well. It would have been nice if they actually just showed it to you. Like, let's see this one. That one. Ooh, come on. Not that big. Ah, it's pretty big. Oh, it might be crashing the software. It's like, oh, its picture's too big. Let's try this one. Let's go back. I think I broke the interface. I actually think I did break the interface. Alright, let's go back. That might have been a little too big. Ugh. What's this one? There you go. Oh, look at it. It's crawling. Oh, my goodness. So it doesn't seem to like really large images because it's probably shrinking them as it goes. But again, it's an internal viewer. You can just download it, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's go back. Oh, I probably just like broke it. See if it shows any videos. Nope. But again, this, you can, if you click this button up here, which doesn't make sense, I don't know why they just wouldn't say like all files or something. You can actually access all the stuff directly. And you can also upload, you can create new folders, you can delete stuff. So if I click any one of these, it'll actually download it, as you can see right here. And that's how you can actually interact with this. There are some unfortunate things that I don't understand about this. One of them is there's no connection to Samba or CIFS. Basically like the Windows type of file sharing that Linux and everything else uses. Like all that stuff would have been a no-brainer to be put onto this. You can access, a drive onto there and stuff. I think that's a missed opportunity. Hopefully a firmware update will fix that. But at least you can get to all the information on the drive. Unlike the Mobile Light Wireless G3 from Kingston, which only interacts with that application on a smartphone, this you can actually go to anything that uses a web browser, you can actually get to the files on here. And that's actually a very powerful thing. So I like that. And I believe that's all I want to show you. Let's just go back into here. That's like, it's like really, really slowing down. No one said that these little routers were the fastest CPUs. So while that's taking its sweet time, I think we'll actually turn the camera and go back to the actual seated portion again. So with that, let's reposition the camera and we'll take it from there. As you can see, D-Link's products excel in routing. There's no question about it that D-Link makes great routing software, and in fact, I'm actually shocked that the web interface for phones for controlling this is actually as good as it is, because if you look at their previous products, they are not the best interfaces, but they get the job done, and they show you all the options that you need to do. Yes, it's like daunting for new users and stuff, but like it works and it exposes everything. So for instance, if you have one of their like older routers and stuff that have the old clunkier interface, that thing works great. You can drill down to all the options, everything's there. This kind of stuff works great for this kind of person that has a phone and needs to set this up and everything, and that's good. I like to see that kind of stuff from a company like D-Link. I'm also surprised that the actual interface for the computer is improved as well. So it looks like the same team that designed the interface for the mobile site also designed the interface for the desktop browsing interface, and that's nice. It gets the job done. It doesn't have the same kind of options that a larger non-portable router would have. Like, it doesn't have QoS management, it doesn't have port forwarding, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that you would expect for a normal router. But as a portable router, it gets the job done, and it has some interesting features, like, for instance, the ability to actually plug in one of those 3G, 4G USB modems and actually share that out too. That's pretty cool. Specifications say you can connect up to 5 devices to this. Now, I've seen what happens when you actually connect more than 5. I just don't have 5 devices to test this. But what happens when you connect a 6th device? Everything starts to go haywire. So 5 devices max. Remember, 4,000 milliamp hour battery. You've got charging mode. You can throw this into routing mode. All that stuff works just fine. Like I said before, if you need this specifically to actually get more storage on a non-expandable storage phone like Nexus 5, for instance, Nexus 5X, all the Nexus series actually, on iPhone, for instance, this is not what you want. You want something like the Kingston Mobile Light G3, Mobile Light Wireless G3. This is much better off if you are a road warrior and you need to have a hotspot with you available at all times that can connect to multiple devices. This is the kind of thing you take with you on trips, to hotel rooms and stuff. You just plug this in, all your stuff will work with this. You don't have to worry about any other weird setups on any of your devices. They'll all connect to this, and that's the kind of stuff. So if you're like on business trips and stuff, this kind of stuff is great. And also, the mere fact that you can access this through a computer, even though, yes, DLNA is fine for some things, but the fact that this does not have like CIFS or Samba networking just feels like a missed opportunity. And hopefully they'll add that in another firmware. I've given that suggestion, so maybe that will happen. However, you could still access this by a website, and that's better than the other stuff that I've reviewed, which you can't even access without mobile applications. So at least you can get to the files and you can upload to this as well. But like I said, if you need something that's just for expanding this, this is not your ticket. If you want an all-around device that is a router first, this is your ticket. The D-Link DIR-510L retails for a little over $100 right now, and again, that's pretty expensive for the market that this is targeting. However, like I said, this is a router first from a company that knows how to make routers. They do. So if you're like a road warrior, business type of person, this is something to look forward to. If you need to have if you have 4 devices that you connect to all the time, You don't have to go and manually do anything. Once they're connected to this, you can just plug this thing in there and they're good to go. This will share off everything. So that's what this is used for. However, again, like I said, the Kingston Mobilite Wireless G3, $50. So you do the math. If you just need to expand your storage on your phone, that's probably a better option. However, if you're a business person that takes a lot of business trips, really, this might be a really handy gadget for you. ASE Labs and ASE Publishing would like to thank D-Link for supplying the 510L for review. You can check out links below and on ASE Labs to purchase this product right now. For ASE Publishing and ASE Labs, I'm Aaron Schatz, and thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is right down there. You know there's a... Okay, I'm going to level with you. If you go down, if you look down here, look at my finger right now and just go down a little bit, there's either going to be an annotation like right here, or if you go down even further below the video, there's a subscribe button. It's in like red and stuff. You hit that, you'll be informed of all the content as we post them. Also, if you don't have time to watch our long form reviews, and yes, we know they're pretty long, but we like to get in depth with the stuff that we review. Because, let's face it, you're going to be the person buying this, so we want to make sure that you have informed knowledge of this actual product that we're reviewing, any of the products. However, if you don't have the time to watch that, you can check out our 1-minute reviews. And in fact, there is a link in the description below for the 1-minute review of this. But if you're already at the end of this review, you don't need to watch it because obviously it's not going to have the same amount of information because we've squeezed this entire review into 1 minute or less. Now obviously we're not going to have the same amount of information, but there you go. Future reference for you if you need to actually watch a review and you're tight on time. Then you come back and watch the actual full review. That's pretty much it. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and please leave us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.